This is a game I played recently against an Aeon who is higher rated than me, and this game does last a while, so I will be skipping ahead the replay speed, especially in this beginning part. So usually what I like to do is I like to send my first engineer along with my commander to get the Hydro for a quick early boost of power. However, on this map I don't think that's really feasible, because sending the commander way back here in the beginning, I feel like it opens up a lot of room for the other player to really come in here and put in a lot of pressure almost uncontested. And so since the Hydro will be a while, I get some P-gens to keep my energy up in the early game. He's power stalling a bit, but he has plenty on the way. I don't see this often. I don't know if this is good or not. His eco's obviously fine now. Me and him have very different play styles. I'm also not very experienced, so I have no idea if what he's doing is good or bad. But he's doing a good job expanding, just like how I'm trying to do, but slower, obviously. I'm gonna skip ahead because the beginning bit, while very important, is not at all entertaining, I don't think. So I sent my commander up to try and get a little outpost. Oh yeah. So I was very happy. We're about 6 minutes in and I hadn't been harassed very much at all. But now he has these flares coming in, and due to insufficient radar and scouting, I had no idea until too late. So he successfully gets in behind my units, and I was late to respond. But I did send them. I did send them in, and took it out before he did too much. But it's unfortunate he got those T1 mexes and the engineer, because I'm not good at building as many engineers as I need, so everyone is very important. So at this point in the game, I'm going to slow it down actually. I have 4 land factories. He has 5, so it's actually not all that uneven. So this is the first little engagement of the game. He's not going to succeed because he is light of soul bots and my commander's right here, which really is why I like to have that here, because I do have units that could resist that attack, but they were farther back and this helped me reduce my losses significantly. I'm also very slow at coming to these islands because I like to focus on bombers and interceptors at first instead of transports. I also only have 1 air factory right now, which could bite me. Oh, I have 2 now, that's good. He has... Oh yeah, I need to... He only has 1. That's very interesting. I didn't feel my air dominance, I suppose, at all this game because I kept a lot of them in the back because I was quite scared of bombing raids, gunship raids. Not really of snipes at this point in the game with T1 bombers because I have interceptors. But this is bad. Do I see this coming? I do not. I definitely need radar up as soon as possible. This could be very bad. I obviously see it now, but I don't know how much he has. Oh wow. So as he pushes closer, I get more and more of an idea. He also doesn't know how much I have. Man. So I did end up winning the engagement, which I think is in large part due to my bombers helping out. That is very fortunate. So we're at the 12-minute mark. He sent a transport in, but took it back out. This is me not knowing the map very well. So he sends in the transport, drops off an engineer. I was sending an engineer thinking it could climb this. It cannot. So I think that's when I started making a transport, maybe? I was trying to stop him from coming over, but these interceptors and these bombers will run out of fuel quite quickly, as they are just T1. Yeah. Let's look at Eco. He's doing quite well. Yeah, definitely very balanced. I'm mass stalling. Is that because I have upgrades going on? No, I just went to T2 though. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not usually good at the mass, like knowing when to upgrade. But this will be short term because I'm building so much, because I just got T2 engineers. I've also built, slow it down, I've built a little, when I upgrade my commander, I built a little outpost using using my commander. So I built 2 generators, power generators, point defense, flak, and artillery. And the artillery has quite some range, so if anyone tries to push, like, the artillery will soften it up quite a bit before it gets the chance. And I have the same plane over here queued up, but it's obviously a ways away. I don't know why he sent his interceptors up here. Maybe to scout, but I feel like scouts would have been the better choice. So I did get a transport up. I got an engineer over here. I have a engineer going to build Navy. My plan is to rush that to T2, which the cruisers will help defend this emplacement. And also, I don't know how little he has over here, so my plan was to also use my cruisers' artillery. So this is a big one. Oh, I do not see them coming, at least not. Oh, I'm power stalling, but my radar flicks on and I see a large mass of grouping. How much does he know? He doesn't see a whole lot. So he's kind of going in blind, but he knows he has a lot of troops, a lot of numbers. He's mass stalling. I'm stalling in both. So I got this shield generator up, but I'm power stalling. So it's not going to activate. Blinks off. These tanks have surprisingly few hit points. I do have a few T2 units, but that's only coming from, as of right now, a single factory. I'll check how many he has in a moment. I'm trying to use the bombers to help out again. He does have quite a bit more anti-air this time though, it seems. So I've lost a lot of units, but so has he. And that makes a sort of mass field. So I can reclaim these wreckages and use it to support my mass totals, which will become very important. But if I remember correctly, he does put a lot of pressure on this part of the map pretty much the entire game. And so getting engineers to actually take advantage of that will be no easy feat. The Aeon heavy tanks have a shield. I did not know that. Alright, now I need to adjust the game speed. So I feel like he definitely knows I'm no longer power stalling. That's very good, because now I can actually start to see what's happening. And this is because I didn't have radar last time, my artillery didn't notice shoot. But now that I have radar coverage, they will shoot as they approach this position if they don't get too close enough to the water. I feel like he must know I'm stronger on this side, and so he's focusing his efforts on the left flank of the center map. Looks like he could be trying to scout my position. I don't have a lot over here. And he has 2 T2 engineers over here, which will be very helpful considering mine is just T1. Oh, and he is coming in now. And so the artillery battery does do a bit, but it's obviously not the most accurate. I don't know why it's not still shooting. Oh, it is just in volleys. And so the shield will help, but only so much. Because it's just a Cyber and T2 shield generator, and so it kind of stinks. And it will go down. It takes forever to recharge. Yeah, it's already down. But it did soak up some hit points. Those are still within range. This is a theme of the game for sure. I did not spend a lot of time actually attacking him. It was mostly him attacking me and me resisting. Maybe I should have put more pressure on, but I was very intimidated by, first of all, the number of his units, the number of his T2 units, and also the static point defense that he had in place. If he is trying an attack on this side, it is ill-advised. I must see those units and want to take them out very quickly. And they have no air coverage, so unless he goes to defend, the bomber will make quite quick work of it. I even upgraded... oh no. Yeah, I upgraded that mass extractor to T2. I must be considering Tech 3 pretty soon. It's a bit suspicious I made this Tech 2 before I made all of these Tech 2. So now I'm just reclaiming. I had no plan of actually assaulting his base, but I did want to take out these mass extractors just to do some damage. I start getting hit by these Oblivion turrets, which is what made me decide that I had done enough. These almost all T1 units of mine just would not stand a chance. He's sending some units over to attack my position. The torpedoes, I don't think, if it was in range it wouldn't do anything because the tanks hover, not float or are actually in the water. I don't think, those aren't artillery tanks, I don't think they have the range to actually shoot my mass extractors though. I wanted to harass this area. I sent in a bomber to take out these units. But yeah, he definitely has me out-teched right now. And so pushing in, even for what I thought was weak, was definitely not the best decision I could have made. So I retreat, and my mobile artillery batters them as I leave. It appears he does want to attack though. which is interesting considering I have point defense and shield coverage, even though it is just one shield generator. Especially with the artillery battery, this does not seem like it's going to be fruitful. He has been successfully preventing me from getting these mass extractors. Even though he does have a tech advantage, because I still have, I believe, only one T. No, I have two T2 factories, but only two T2 factories. This one's actually going to Tech 3. So only one is actually building Tech 2. But yeah, that attack seems like it didn't do much. Seems like I'm attacking again. I don't know why I'm doing that. I guess counterattacks can always be useful if they use all their units to attack you. You can get them while they're vulnerable, but he's producing units so quickly to all these factories. I wonder what his eco's looking like. So he has more than enough power, which makes plenty of sense. He's mass stalling a bit. I have plenty of energy though, not as much as him, and I'm power stalling. Is that due to upgrading mexes? I'm upgrading one mex, and I'm upgrading to T3. I'm upgrading more mexes too over here. Not well-timed upgrades at all. Oh yeah, I see his drop coming in, but I caught it fairly late because it swooped over here. So I remember being very scared because I didn't even, did I take out one in the air? I did take out one transport in the air with its units, but the other made it to ground, and it had one anti-air, which wasn't going to be enough. So then it was just the tanks, and with the interceptors flying right over my anti-air, that's not a great idea. But it's just on my bombers to prevent these tanks coming forward, which was quite scary because I already got one mass extractor, and this hydro is very important, and this is my T2 air factory HQ. This one is as well, I suppose. But that was quite a scare, and so I made some changes to try and protect from that in the future. Sorry, if I don't zoom out when I adjust the game speed, it flicks the screen over. So I've created the T2 Naval Yard, and I will get the boats in this corner of the map. Unfortunately, I did not do nearly as much damage as I had hoped I would. And this destroyer needs to back up. We're out now at half an hour. I have finally reached T3. I do not see a T3 headquarters for him. He's pushing with units. I must see it, I do. I bombard him a bit with my Salems, my cruisers, as well as this point defense up here. That point defense will not be long from this world. I have these bombers not on patrol anymore, likely because I forgot to reassign them when I give them the attack order on the tanks. I'd hoped that these ships would be able to reach this island. They unfortunately do not. Even when I get them as close as they can be, it only goes about here. I do love doing the artillery barrages in my forward positions, because it really does, with the range of them, it helps prevent them from ever getting a hold on these mexes. And I am starting to build another position over here, which will prevent these mexes. However, I'm not totally sure if it's the greatest use of my resources, because like the mass and energy I put into these could be used in teching up earlier, which almost was the downfall of me with the tech advantage he got early on. If his pushes were a bit more coordinated or a bit more effective, then he really could have done some serious damage to me. It seems like he still has an unupgraded comm potentially. Point defense. That's probably less so because he's worried about me pushing in, and more so because he's worried about maybe drops, or Cybrin does have the ability for getting a teleporter and a laser on its comm. And so if I went that route instead of making experimentals or artillery or just Tech 3 land, then I could teleport right on top of him, laser him to death, and just win the game by assassinating his commander. And so these T2 point defenses are to prevent that. If I teleport, they will just destroy me. Oh yeah, so he created a tactical missile staging area of sorts with just an obscene amount of tactical missiles, and it's just bombarding me, which is brutal. He doesn't have the best scouting or radar, but he knows where the structures are, and he's definitely putting the hurt on. He's mass stalling. I'm in a pretty decent spot, especially considering I am building a Monkey Lord. I should probably stop doing so many things at once, though. It seems like it could be his way of trying to scout. I'm not good at scouting either. I have pretty much no idea what he's doing at all. I like to focus on making my fighter bombers, and in the early game the interceptors and bombers, and just prepare as much as I can. It's a bad habit I definitely need to break, because not knowing what he's doing could really cost me if he's making a nuke or artillery or making strategic bombers. I am making a lot of shield coverage though, and this is quite the push. The artillery battery will do me some favors, but that's a big army and a lot of it is teched up. And I still have way too many T1 units. I do have some T3, which will definitely help. Those are very powerful. And I have a support commander in there. I'm holding off pretty well. That first shield generator died, but this other one is still up, and it is protecting a few units, but mostly just the point defenses and artillery. This was a rather effective push though. I remember in the game being surprised. I realized that my ships aren't going to do much, so I brought my destroyers onto land, the Cybrin boats. The Salem at least is the only one that can sprout legs and walk on land. And so their range is quite effective. I mean, that is a lot. I definitely underestimated this push. Not going to T3 air yet. So if you look up here, I'm ahead in eco by quite a bit. a lot more power, a substantial amount of mass, but I'm not at all taking advantage of it the way I should be. These tac missiles are loading up. Those will hurt me a lot once he decides to fire them. I need to repair these mexes. I built some tactical missile defense, but with the number, it's just not nearly enough. So I have mass fabricators, and the tactical missiles are going for it. And while they're actually doing a decent job, the sheer number is still quite scary. He just got another mass extractor. That missile landed, but luckily nothing was there. I mean, just wow. The amount of tactical missiles he's able to put out is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going for these. So that's when I had my idea to march these cruisers into his side. It's kind of crazy I don't have sufficient radar to see these units. But I thought it might be worth a try to get the destroyers into his side and see if I can destroy this little that fire base he's created. And it looks like I'm sending this support ACU to help rebuild this position, which throughout the game really just goes back and forth from attacks my destroyers. And that's the thing about them, they're very inaccurate. They have to be shooting at still targets. I'm curious where these are going for the mass fabs. But yeah, the shield generator's down. The launchers will follow shortly after. It seems like he shot that last volley just to not waste the ones he had built. So this was a big point in the game, because not only was this harassing me a large part of the game with these mass extractors, possibly these, here, but also I will be depriving him of this mass, and more than likely these mass. He's creating a shield generator, which seems a little bit futile. I've started building a heavy artillery installation because I've already built the Monkey Lord I started, but with how many units he has, I decided to use it primarily for defense, because I was very worried if I gathered a force, which I don't have many units all right now, if I gathered a force and attacked, that he would just counterattack or go on the opposite side, or just outplay me in some way. So I decided to use the Monkey Lord in my units primarily for defense, and I would focus on... Yeah, it must have been crazy frustrating. And focus on using the artillery to really destroy him. Because I didn't think I'd be able to get an ACU kill with it, but you can really take out a lot of his mass extractors, especially the ones that are undefended, his power. Just really do a lot of damage. I'm still mass stalling, which when you're building something like this, you really should shut off your other production, but the Quantum Gateway is a great way to get more resources. I maybe should have made another one. I'm not sure. It's something I need to improve at. My destroyers are no longer shooting because even though even though there are still structures and units here, I don't have proper radar or scouting, so they cannot see them. And this is quite the scary force. Luckily I did see it on radar. I don't know. So I'm sending these back over here to try and help. I have the Monkey Lord. It shouldn't be too terribly difficult, but that is just a lot. The Monkey Lord is just such a cool unit. That poor boat should not be so close to the action. With its long range, it really, I don't know why it had it so close. The Monkey Lord is still at almost full health, just shattering these units. I sent the destroyers over here to try and get some damage done over here. I mean, just all the mass over here is ridiculous. But the Monkey Lord just melts through all these units. He's at 100 kills, 105, 107, 108, 109, 110. Is he gonna get 111? He does. So I got these over here, and I'm trying to attack these mass extractors, but he's firing back from static artillery emplacements, which I don't know, they're not within my range even if I did have it scouted, and so these units just didn't really stand a chance, and so I really let them get back. I should have probably kept these out here to try and keep them from sending reinforcements to this island, even though it does seem that he had it covered anyway, because I don't think the tactical missile defense would do anything, because it's considered like artillery and not tactical missiles. Both the torpedo bombers and the artillery, these units just didn't really stand much of a chance. But the artillery would definitely be effective in taking out my destroyers if they were to try and attack him again. So I saw him posturing, so I moved my units over to try and contest with it. I saw them go away, so I got fearful of them coming over here. The destroyers just went down. I have 2 more coming. The cruisers are much more durable, because they have longer range and they have much better anti-air capabilities. So now my artillery installation is complete. He has no idea. I still don't know much about his base. I haven't scouted. My eco's doing great now that it's finished. His eco's fine. Yeah, he's doing okay. But now I'm sending in the artillery, which is just brutal. I mean, yeah, just, especially with not nearly enough shield coverage, I will just destroy this entire development. I mean, it really is brutal. Being on the receiving end of artillery is one of the most single frustrating things that can happen to you in this game. I mean, just... So it seems like he scouted me. I'm not sure if he's moving his units away from the blast radius or if he thinks he should give it like one last attack. I'm using fires to scout. That's just silly. Just make a scout, Alex. but I've really just decimated that position. Now he's coming here. It has 71 kills already. This attack just doesn't stand a chance. The Monkey Lord's back to full health. I have T3 units. Point defense. Shield has been depleted. But still, this was a desperation attack. It shows. He is targeting the Monkey Lord, but it's got a rank and vet so that its health went back up. I mean, just wow. It just chews through him. A 176 kills. What's our artillery at? 84. Almost walked into that one. So I destroyed a lot of mass. A lot of his static structures. If I did any scouting at all, I would know his main base is up here. Because my main base is where I started, so I guess I assumed. Now I have a pretty good idea. Now I have a much better idea. My eco is terrible. Why is that? I'm building a Scathus. That is grossly unnecessary. I must not have realized the severe advantage I had by having the artillery installation complete. Because he has just one T3 land factory, and I will be taking it down. His entire power grid is right here, with just a couple shield generators that will not hold. Well, I finally got scouts up. So now I know his commander's here, I know about his power grid, and I mean... I will just continue to torment him. I am building the Scathus. That is just like the heavy artillery installation, but less accurate, and it fires much, much quicker. Oh, I almost killed his commander. I was just aiming for his power. That is a big loss, because when these power generators get destroyed, there's a chain reaction, so I just took out 4 of them with 1 shell. Scouts come back in. I know he has a lot up here, so I'm kind of looking to see if there's anything much down here. Not really, it's almost all up here. He had a lot down here too. But with our first artillery launch, this is not as scary as it once was, especially considering I still have that Monkey Lord in my back pocket, which is regenerating quickly. It is 5 stars now, so its maximum health has gone up. This right here was at 48,000, I think was its original max health, but if I remember right. I'm bringing the cruisers up here just to help. Oh man. Now I'm shooting the artillery over here, which really won't stand a chance because his power grid is destroyed. And so his shield generators all blinked off. Man. One shot. That is horrible. And so because I destroyed so much of his power production, he doesn't have nearly enough to support all that he has. That's why he's paused all of his factories, because he doesn't, if he keeps producing, he'll be in even more trouble. What is he doing to try and fix that? He's healing his commander. Oh no, he does have a nuke launcher, but it's empty, and he does not have nearly enough resources to try and create a missile. Looks like I'm attacking. Oh, I'm getting ready for something, yeah. Man, I can't get over it. That was such an effective missile. So I'm scouting. I'm still looking at everything. Oh, that just went down. Oh, man. So I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. I know where his commander is. I'm considering a push on both sides. Just now that I've ruined his production, he doesn't have nearly enough units to contend. My thought process is that I might as well just, instead of artillerying him to death, push forward the units and kick him while he's down, essentially. Just go for him while he's still go for him while he's been softened up so much. So he doesn't have radar up, so he doesn't have much of a clue of what's going on. His commander's way up here, but these destroyers have such long range. They're taking out these point defenses, which is all that he has to support this side. The Monkey Lord doesn't have much support, but he does have a couple anti-air pieces and a brick, which is probably not as much as I should have sent, but I figured I wouldn't get much resistance. So this is now completely wiped out, and I think I'm aware of it. I now have Omni. I now have Omni, so I have radar for the entire map, and so that's why I can see where everything is, and this is just brutal. Just especially the long range capabilities of these Salems and what's about to unfold. This is gross. So just havoc is going to unfold. Mountains in the way these units are going to move forward. I know I have more than enough to take this base, but I figured I would come from the back so I wouldn't have to deal with the point defense. $182 kills for the Monkey Lord, 219 for the artillery. We'll see which finishes with more. He control K's, or even control K. He left the match, and so the game is over. I was quite impressed with myself because while he didn't have the best game, I'm usually very bad at eco, which means I'm the liability when it comes to like late game. The Escathus would have been really fun to use. I've never actually like used one in an actual online game. But Monkey Lord had 188 kills. The artillery had 219. This was a fun one.